meeting to order at 6:05. Roll call of directors, please.
Gorman,
Here.
Hanson,
Absent, excused.
Hermaning,
Here.
Kaiser,
Here.
Maple,
Absent, excused.
Here.
Oh,
President, get on it.
Novinsky,
Sure she was gonna be.
Stankowski,
Here.
Kalanja Zebro,
Here.
Kelly Zebro.
Here.
I'm gonna hear about that too. As I should.
Okay.
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Seek approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Gorman, second by Novinsky to approve the agenda. Any corrections, updates, or changes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 5, approval of the agenda from the, approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting of May 21st, 2024.
There's a correction. It says Jessica Maple, Peter Hermaning, and/or
Oh,
Peter
it's spelled
Hansen.
wrong.
No, it's
No.
Peter Hermaning.
Peter, yes.
He could only be so lucky.
Whatever.
I just thought
Are
one
you
other
talking about
thing
Kevin or
too.
Peter? Which one is it?
You flip a coin and you take it.
Okay.
Oh, my word.
It was,
I did read
So we got that corrected? Was that the only one?
I found one other spot too, under the community use of district facilities fee schedule. It says families qualifying for free and reduced meals can also file a waiver, but I believe that belongs down in the bus fees for state
Yes.
I
riders.
think you're right.
Does that make
Yep,
sense?
yep.
Good catch.
Thank you. We'll make those two changes.
We need a motion and a second.
With those corrections, I will approve.
Motion by Gorman, second by Zebro, Kelly. Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Approval of the minutes, item 5B, Special Board of Education regular minutes from June 12th, 2024.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Kelly Zebro, second by Diane Gorman. Any questions, corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number 6, special presentation, Lena Kerviel. Hello there. Mosinee High School foreign exchange student.
Yes. So I've been an exchange student at Mosinee High School for the past year, since September, and I've been really enjoying my time. And so Mosinee High School has been a big part of this, as I go to school there every day. And thank you for having me tonight. And I really enjoyed being at Mosinee High School. I actually found probably one of my possible career paths later because of the career-oriented curriculum here. I also really enjoyed all the extracurricular activities. I was both in band and choir, and I also played soccer and did swimming. And I'm here today with the Congress Bundestag Youth Exchange, which promotes exchange between Germany and the US. And so I have a certificate that, from the US Department of State that certificates Mosinee High School as a school that enriches cultural and academic exchange both for students abroad and students and staff here locally. So, thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you. Very much appreciated.
What is the career path?
Diplomacy and international relations. I want to do that.
Give it to the board president.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you in your
Thank
career.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I took 3 years of German in high school. Don't remember anything.
You didn't go to Mosinee though.
Ich bin, du bist,
Be
erst
careful.
ist, ihr seid, sie sind. That's all I really remember. How did I do it?
So what
That's like conjugating a verb or something, right?
Yeah, that's verbs, yeah.
That's all I remember.
Best of luck to you.
No, don't respond to me in German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin, you want to?
Sure.
No, my grandma would be German, so she would spend.
Where's the certificate?
Right here. There you go.
Get your collar. Tuck it in.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
She's gotta go to a band
I'm
concert
sure
now.
you send that to her as well.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, public forum. Did anybody sign up to, I didn't think there was.
Nope.
Okay. If anyone from the public, either in the room or on the, watching online wishes to speak at a board meeting, there is a sign up link on the agenda for future meetings. Consent agendas, item number 8. Is there a motion?
I will make the motion to approve if there are nothing, okay.
Motion by Gorman,
I'll second
second by Kelly Zebro, to approve the consent agendas. Any items to be pulled out from any of the committee meetings? Nothing from finance? Nothing. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number 9, discussion and possible decision, the June 2024 monthly voucher list. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the June monthly voucher list.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
I'll second.
Motion by Kelly Zebro, second by Calandra Zebro, to approve the monthly voucher list for the month of June. Roll call, please.
Gorman,
Yes.
Hanson, Hermaning,
Here.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Maple,
Yes.
Nowinski,
Yes.
Stankowski, Calandra Zebro,
Yes.
Kelly Zebro.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 10, discussion and possible decision, acceptance of the monthly treasurer's report.
I'll make the motion for the acceptance of the monthly treasury report.
Motion by Kelly Zebro, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Calandra Zebro. Any questions about the treasurer's report? Roll call, please.
Gorman,
Yes.
Hermaning,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Maple,
Yes.
Nowinski,
Yes.
Stankowski, Calandra Zebro,
Yes.
Kelly Zebro.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 11, new business, discussion and possible decision, WIA membership renewal.
Yeah, it's that time of year we have to do our annual WA membership renewal. I know Trevor's here in case anybody has any questions, but this, there is no membership fee to be a member of the WA. And our agreement to become a member of the WA allows us to participate in the tournament series for all the sports that we offer. And obviously with our success this spring, we would probably want to continue to be a member of the WA. So administration recommends approval.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Nowinski, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Kaiser. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discussion and possible decision, WASB membership renewal.
Yeah, it's time for the WA membership, or the WASB membership renewal, I'm sorry. This is the annual time of year where the board determines if they want to continue to be a member of the Wisconsin School Board Association. I did include in there the report to the membership, and then I have with me, in case anybody has a desire for some light reading, the WASB at Your Service 24/25 magazine, or just kind of outlet of what they do. But I think safe to say I think there's a lot of value in being a member of the School Board Association.
Is this an increase from last year?
There was a slight increase. They said, and I would have to look.
Just a
but-
slight one?
Yes, there is it says in the letter what the increase is. It was like 5%, I want to say, Paul. The WASB membership board of directors requested a slight increase in the membership fee.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by Diane Gorman, second by Kelly Zebro, to approve the renewal of the WASB membership. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I just got a question. We do this every year?
Yes.
Every year you have to be, yeah, every year at this time of year, end of the fiscal year.
Okay.
Item 11C, discussion and possible decision approval of the second reading on policy 8510, wellness.
Yeah, there was no changes to the policy from last month. We did have based on the comment you had about water bottles, the administrators were looking through their student handbooks to see if there was an issue with the water bottles that you brought up last month, Paul. So I haven't heard that there was, so I think we're all good to go on that part of it. But no changes that from last month, so we're recommending approval of this as well.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Kelly Zebro, second by Davinsky. Any questions on the second reading? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 11D, discussion and possible decision of the long-range library plan.
Yeah, we have Lori here tonight to kind of go through the long-range library plan. So while she's walking up here, this is something you have to do every 3 to 5 years, depending upon how long you do your plan. Pretty much everybody goes the 5-year route, so you get as long as you can out of it. And then we have to upload it to DPI website and go from there. So I will turn it over to you, Lori.
Right, and that's actually new. They've had in statute for, I think forever, that it's Wisconsin Administrative Code, P18, that there should be a library plan, but it's always been rather informal. It's been the DPI rep that has been really pushing to get every district to have an approved plan and get it uploaded at the state level, and she's been looking at it and that sort of thing. So I've come before you. If you don't know me, I'm Lori Agema. I'm excited because this coming school year will be my 35th year here in Mosinee.
Thank you.
I've been at this for a while. So what I did when I was putting this plan together, I basically took the form that Monica recommends that we use, and that's the Future Ready Librarian Grid. And what I did was I just took each piece out, and then I did 2 slides. So for example, here I did the current status, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And I'm not going to read all of this. You had a link, hopefully you looked through it. But it basically outlines what we do, what we've done, what my schedule is. And then the following slide, I put in goals with the year. I know Monica's being very picky about looking at, to make sure like 2004 to 2008 is in there when she's looking at it. She comes to our CISA meetings over the screen quite a bit, so she sort of outlined to us what they're looking for when we submit this. Okay? Like I said, I've come before you at this time of year, every year, more of an informal kind of plan. I've told you like what we did for the year, some highlights, and then some goals for the following year. Another thing, Monica is recommending that if you agree and pass this, then treat it like it's a working document, because then I can update it. So if something comes up, I can click and add in. It doesn't necessarily need to come back and be approved each time. Because 2008 is a long time, or I should say, that actually is, that should be different. It should be 2024 to 2020. Looking at, I should amend that and fix that. 2028 is a long time from now, and things happen. We get difference in budgets and that kind of thing. So anyway, so the first pie shape was the curriculum, goals, and instruction, and I put my schedule is in there, and it talks about different things that we did. This past year, we did a lot with STEM. There was additional Common School Fund or library aid money, and I came before the board, I think it was April, and it was approved to get some VR goggles for the elementary school, which we will be training for in August and piloting this coming year. Okay. Another thing, the next one is goals, curriculum and instruction and assessment. So that's the goals, that is things that are coming up, just mentioned that. The next one is personalized professional learning. So this is things that I do, like I've been a member of the WDLC, the online ebook consortium, for the past 4+ years. I've been voted on the board, so I attend meetings 4 times a year with that. I attend the monthly CISA, or I should say 4 times a year, CISA meetings that happen. I attend the WEMTA conference when I can. This year, this is something I could add in with the goals. I was accepted for a workshop in August that's being offered by DPI. It's 3 days. It'll be in Marshfield. It's Foundations of Wisconsin Librarianship. So that's something I could add in here as well. The next piece of the pie is the robust infrastructure. I tied a lot in talking with Christy, the infrastructure that we follow through the school. I also mentioned the our library program, the Destiny program, is available 24/7 to students where they can look up and see what books we have in the library if they're doing homework at home. They can also have access 24/7 to the ebook consortium, so they can be checking out and reading books this summer off the ebook consortium. And then goals are to continue with what we have been doing, and again, if something comes up, I can add this in as well. The next piece of the pie is budget and resources. I linked last year's budget in. I have since finished this coming year's. I can link that in when I sit down and look at this again. I mentioned we did have an increase in the Common School Fund library money this year. It's not predicted to have an increase next year, but to be on track with what we have. And that's what I use basically for the library funding, is the Common School Fund. The next piece of the pie is community partnerships. I've mentioned some things like we don't do a lot with the public library, but I get an email from the public librarian here in Mosinee every month, and if there's something that might be interesting to the students, I post and promote it and share it with them. In the past, we have also done things with the library club. The library club was smaller this year. We had a whole group of girls graduate, so we're rebuilding the library club. Anna Durst is running it this year, and she had two, I think they were sophomores this year, so we're trying to build it up. But in the past, and we'd like to bring it back again, where we've done reading nights with the therapy dog, but we need more people to do that. So we're hoping to build it back up to that. Another piece of the wedge is data and privacy. They're again working with Christy, basically keeping library records private, keeping passwords private, that kind of thing. The next one is collaborative leadership. So I just talked about how I collaborate with teachers. Next year, I'll be working a lot with the different STEM teachers at the elementary school as we get those VR goggles up and running. And my hope is to sit down with our tech teacher at the middle school, because his program is changing a little bit, where he's going to have all the middle school. And I would like to work with him, make sure we're coordinated together with our digital citizenship. And I want to see what else he does, and if we would get the funding or whatever, maybe we could do some VR technology there, kind of align our programs together. So that's something I'm interested in doing next year. So I believe I put that in my goals as well. Another piece of the pie is the use of space and time. So I talked about my schedule, how I bounce back and forth between the elementary school and the high school. This past year, I saw third grade in person at the elementary school. I start there in the morning. I basically leave there by 10 and then head over to the Kresge Library, where I see grades 4 and 5. And then this past year, I had 2 sections of high school students for the Chromebook repair, which I really liked. It's the first time I've worked with high school students, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm probably the only person who teaches something in all 3 buildings every day. So at the end of the presentation, I kind of tacked on a shortened version of our highlights. Like, this is what I usually bring before. So this was the highlights for 2023-24. So a quick glance at our numbers. Our circulation statistics, the elementary school kids checked out over 26,000 books. The Kresge, grades 4 through 12, checked out over 22,000 books. We checked over, well, actually close to 2,000 Chromebook loaners to the middle school kids. Hotspot usage has went down since COVID. We only checked out 13 this year. And then collection size and the materials added. And then some more statistics on the next slide. Like, I saw 175 classes at the elementary school. I saw 350 with grades 4 and 5. and 342 with the Chrome Savers. And then when I'm not in class at the elementary school, my assistants this year saw grades second, first, and kindergarten, so they saw 525 classes. We had 6-8 comes in for circ time. They came in 648 classes worth to check out. And then study hall ELT, we have over 6,000 kids that come in. So we're busy. All buildings are busy. And then you can look at later, because you have links to this. I always include pictures. It's fun to see what the kids do. We got a few new soft chairs up in the upper left corner. One of the girls is reading there. They like fight over them. They like to sit on them. Some more pictures. We did the library, elementary library. We had the book fair in there. Kara Chalka took over for a couple weeks, and she made it into a really nice book fair environment. That was in April. The second and third graders came for an hour this time instead of a half hour. So we incorporated some STEM. I had activities. So we had Kiva planks, we had marble runs, we had Lego. So they were doing a lot of building and teamwork after each of their classes this year. A new thing I did this year, fourth grade also are in for an hour. So I was able to get some new STEM materials over there. I got gigantic Connect 4. The kids really like that. They have fun playing with that. The Kiva planks, I also got giant Jenga and marble runs, and we had a good time with those. And the kids really, it's fun to sit back and watch them. Teamwork, problem solving, figure things out. And that was good to see. Then at the high school, we fixed over 350 student Chromebooks this year, so we saw some interesting things get returned that we had to fix. So, and then coming for next year, like I said, I hope to expand the makerspace units with the second and third graders, and I'll be working with Mrs. Hodson, Mr. Tudo, and Mr. Olson to co-plan some STEM activities. I also hope to work with Mr. Wysocki at the middle school in the coming years to plan some STEM and digital citizenship lessons. I will still be on the WSDLC school board or ebook board for the next 2 years, so I'll have some say in what goes on with that. I will attend the quarterly CISA 9 librarian meetings and run the Chrome Saver repair class. We also had a mentor student in the library, I forgot to mention that, at the high school, and we're hoping to get one or two more students to come in and help out on the hours that they have study hall. And of course, we'll continue to support any other technology or curricular initiatives that we have. So that's us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It sounds like you're with us for another 2 years.
Pardon?
Sounds like you're with us for another 2 years. You're on the board.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
So needless to say, administration is recommending approval of this report, and before there's a motion, I just want to once again thank Lori for all of her work, not only on the report, but everything as I put in my board report, as somebody who had to do that report before, her report knocked mine out of the park by about 400 times what mine was. So I think she did a great job. So we're recommending approval of the board, of
I'll
the
make the
library
motion.
plan.
I'll second.
Motion by Nabinski, second by Kaiser. Any other discussion?
Great report.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. All right, item number 11E. Discussion preliminary 2024-2025 Board of Education meeting schedule.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay.
The next month will be the formal vote on the board meeting schedule. These dates are based on keeping them on Tuesdays, understanding that on next month's agenda, there will be 2 agenda items. One will be meeting day of the week, one will be meeting location. So if that gets changed, we can adjust this and still approve it, plus or minus a day, or keep the dates if it stays on Tuesday. So I don't think it's anything that has to impact. The biggest thing I wanted to do is just get this in front of you to take a look at it, and if there's anything that you can think of off the top of your head that's gonna be a huge, you know, hey guys, this isn't gonna work, this is the, you know, something or other, let's get it on the docket now.
So during agenda setting, there was a conversation about a couple of board members, not just one, a couple of board members were prospectively interested in having a different night of the week for board meeting, the regular monthly board meeting, as well as a discussion about whether or not we might prospectively have either a different night but the same night, or even a separate night for committee meetings. So just putting that out there. There's nothing being proposed tonight in writing, and as was mentioned by the superintendent, that'll come before us in July. So
you want no discussion tonight?
we're happy to have a discussion. We're not gonna make a decision tonight, though.
No, but I think it should be discussed.
Yeah, no, this is
People
why
can
we're
go-
here.
We've talked about several things. It's hard for our administration to get to the meetings because a lot of them do sports supervision on Tuesday nights. It's hard for parents to come because we have athletics, concerts. There's not a lot of things going on Mondays. And to me, Mondays would be a logical choice. I know Wednesday, religious, I don't know how that affects people, what they do. But to me, Tuesday is just not the best time to meet, just because there's all kinds of things in our district going on. The second point I wanted to make is this room really, and especially if we're gonna be proposing possibly moving our administration to the high school, maybe that's where we start having our meetings, in the library. It's a much more comfortable spot. The technology is probably better. The audience would probably, we'd be able to accommodate more people. Although I see you bought new chairs.
Yeah,
We got a really good deal on them, right, Steve?
12 cents on the dollar.
there you go. We got some nice chairs.
Were you at a
going there.
garage sale?
I'm at the garage sale and this stuff comes. Yeah, no, we were very, very
That's
fortunate.
awesome. They look comfortable. But like the other chairs we had were not comfortable.
No, this is pretty.
And we had to, remember the meetings where we sometimes have to, we don't know who's coming, we have to break out other chairs. So those are my two real points, is looking at the administrator, we often talk about, well, they're not here, they're supervising a basketball game. And sometimes there's hot topics that we want our administrators here.
The only thing, and this is the board's decision. The only question I would have, just from past experience, is if it's Tuesday in the library, how would that work if we had an evening activity like a basketball game or volleyball game? Would parking be such that, you get my question, Paul?
I'm
I'm asking
No, I
only
agree.
to consider
Totally.
ahead of time versus,
I would rather see the meetings move Monday in the
yeah,
library.
yeah,
If we have them Tuesday, that could be an issue.
yeah, that's the only
I
reason I
agree.
ask.
I mean, because if you've been there before, some of you have been there before, the Kresge is chaotic.
And
And
that's
we
where.
probably would not want that.
And that's where I think what I put on the agenda was the day is going to be selected first, the location second, because the day could impact the location.
Correct, totally agree.
That's how I laid it out on next month's
I
agenda.
mean, I don't have a problem with Tuesdays and meeting here. I just think it might be a better accommodation Mondays and at the IMC than here.
And I have a comment. Talking to, the townships that I support, their meetings are Tuesday nights. And they're the same Tuesday as we have the school board meeting. And so that was brought up.
Some of them are. Mosinee City meets on Mondays,
Right.
second, but some are absolutely
I
on
have
Tuesdays.
Emmett,
Yep.
Virgin.
There's
and
3 or
Green
4 of them that
Valley.
have conflicts.
Yep.
So,
And
I'm sorry, Donna.
And so, I mean, even because I've been asked to come to some meetings and it falls the same night as this meeting, so then you can't go. And I know previously, when Mike was on the board, that was the same issue, that you could never get to the town meeting because it was the same night as the school board meeting.
Kelly?
So then my question, are you still gonna leave it the third week? Or would you wanna even change the week number and then that could change things too?
There's very,
It's just throwing it out
the
there.
municipalities that meet on Mondays meet the second Monday.
Okay, they do, okay, good.
And we can
to
do
know.
more research. I've kind
Right.
of looked at their agendas.
Yes.
And what they're doing. Because you want to cover all your bases.
You
But,
do, if we're gonna switch the date, let's cover it all.
well, we're always going to have some conflicts. And like in the summer, maybe we go back to Tuesdays or whatever people feel. But I'm talking mainly the school year. It really is an issue for a lot of people to get your parents have conflicts where, do I go to the sporting event or the concert or do I come to a school board meeting?
The third, to answer your question, Kelly, or to comment on it, the third week of the month seems to be a common week for school board meetings.
Right, but does it have to
It
be?
doesn't have to be, but I think in past experience, it's just easier with bill paying and some of that stuff when bills come in, when you have to get cut, your checks cut to get the voucher report done. It's just easier to have it at that time. And that's some of the reasons why, like, usually with your budget one, you kick that to the fourth week, because you
Right.
want every second to get all that done. So, you know, my opinion is the fourth or the third week
Would stay.
would stay.
Okay, and that was my question to Paul, because if we did the Monday nights, the third, we would be conflict with the city in that, but you said the city
There'd
is
be
the
the
second.
second general.
So then that wouldn't be a conflict.
I'll do a little bit more research, and again, I just brought it up because I think it might make us more efficient.
Well, like I said, I don't have a problem, whatever.
Well, if you have an opinion or a say, we can always, at the meeting itself in July, we could still pivot from what is ultimately proposed. But this way, if you reached out to either Diane or myself with what you, I think we have an idea where you are on this, Paul. But if, and even for Donna, if you have an opinion and you want that to be added as a proposed prospective change, it would come before us as a proposal then from the board, from the administration. Okay, but it's true, it is the board decision, of course, and that's.
And I talked to Greg about it when I met with him, and we discussed
Your
just.
one-on-one.
One-on-one, yeah.
Well, and as long as it works for the administrators, the secretaries, and the people who are most important to be here should be in consideration of the night.
I'm here when you tell me to be here.
All right?
We know that too. Okay, that was for discussion. It will come before the board. July and August meetings are already set though.
Okay.
And as it indicated, that was for September on, till next August.
Okay.
Okay. Item 11F, discussion investment on the summer school update.
Yeah, that was a question that was asked of us to prepare, was a little bit of a summer school update. So if you look at the link or what's provided, I think the first thing you need to understand is summer school funding. And to understand how the FTEs are calculated. For summer school funding, it's all based on minutes. So for every 48,600 minutes students are in school, it counts as an FTE for aid purposes. So there's two different counts. As you see on here, there's an FTE for aid that says 42, but the revenue limit is only 17 because only 40% of that counts in your revenue limit formula. Okay, so it's two different, but 42 counts for the aid formula to determine how much aid you get from the state. So the number is counted differently in different parts of the formula. But for, like I said, for every 48,600 minutes that kids are in summer school, it counts as an FTE for aid, and then you multiply it by 40% to get the revenue limit. One of the things that's difficult with summer school is a lot of things which are difficult with this whole profession of education is you're building everything before you really know what your budget actually is or who actually shows up. So you're building summer school without an understanding of who else is good. You have a guess of who's going to show up, but you don't really know until they actually come. And if a kid, say for instance, a kid is absent because they went to state baseball or something last week, that kid's minutes don't count on here, which then impacts possibly if a bunch. So it's kind of one of those things where summer school I've found is very cyclical. You can have years where you have a bunch of kids and your minutes are high, and the next year kids maybe don't want to go to summer school for whatever reason. So it's kind of a little bit of a wave. I think the important thing to remember though is summer school is really designed to get kids that have a love of learning or want to continue to learn or explore other areas of education. The analogy I use with the the idea is you're never gonna, to think that summer school is going to be a windfall of money is not an accurate thought. I think your hope is to break even and maybe make a little bit, but you're not gonna profit $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 a year on summer school. It's just the numbers aren't there. Unless you want to run 40 kids in one class, which is not exactly I wouldn't want to take 40 kids fishing down at the river.
Obviously, you don't love fishing.
There's enough that love it, but I'm not going down there to supervise it unless I have a hard hat and a bee's nest costume or whatever, a beekeeper costume. So yeah, we wanted to present this to you. We aren't sure. Obviously, we're in the middle of summer school now, so we don't know what this year's numbers are going to be. But so far, it looks like, based on drop off and everything, there seems to be a lot of kids in it. So
So if I got this right, last year we lost $4,284?
yep.
Okay.
But you get
No, I'm
you know,
just. I
3 or
just-
4 more kids in there and get, you know, a couple more, you get an extra 48,600 minutes.
Is that why you see, I've always wondered this, some schools only do summer school in July. Some only do it in June. I've always wondered why is there some reason why, like some school districts do it in their summer school in July?
I think different districts do it different
Different
ways and
reasons,
seen
okay.
it multiple ways. You know, when we surveyed families, we felt pretty good about having a little bit in June and a little bit in July. And that time frame that we kind of agreed upon was 5 weeks versus 6 weeks. So we're trying that this year.
And this year you think things are going pretty good?
So far, it's off to a good start. I
Okay.
think that there's a great variety of classes. It seems to be well attended. So I will be eager to.
Is the
see where we're
fishing
at with
class
numbers.
numbers up? Greg wants to know.
More than welcome
Tell you
to
what,
come on
when
over
I
and
drop
pass
my
the
son
line.
off in the morning, I see a lot of fishing poles
Yes.
coming out of the back of cars. So
Yes.
Some baseball.
Yes.
Are there any hard hats?
Yes.
no, there should be. And the day we helped organize the kids that first day, I saw a lot of fishing poles go by as I was standing out there.
For some kids, that's big for them. They don't get a chance to do a lot of that. I mean, there are a lot of enrichment things
Yes.
that kids don't get a chance to do.
And not only an opportunity to have a lunch.
Yep, that's the key.
For some kids, that might
some
be the
kids,
only meal
yeah.
they get that day, breakfast and lunch.
But this year, Joel, we're gonna have less days, correct?
We do, we will have 20 days instead of 24. Yes. Yes.
So that'll cut our minutes down even
little
more.
bit.
Okay.
But it also cut our expenditures down because we won't
Right,
be paying
right,
teachers.
because you wouldn't be paying
and
staff
aides.
for those days, so.
Right.
Do you think
yes.
about the same fiscal thing, almost breaking even?
I,
Yeah, once we. determine
once we know
students.
numbers, but looking at staffing and classes offered and approximately where we're at, I feel like that's.
Thank you.
Great.
Days are
Yeah.
long.
Do you get, is there actual physical counts or is it by number of kids registered? Or do you physical
You
count?
take
and is
attendance
it
every
on
day.
Every day? Every day they have to physically be there.
That's why I said, like the state baseball tournament, if you had a bunch of kids that went to that game at whatever time that was, that first game, 10 o'clock or whatever, 11 o'clock.
A lot of kids there.
Because there was always a notion in the past that even if you're registered and you don't make it, that registration will still count.
You have to attend one.
You have to at least
Oh, you have to
attend
attend
one
one.
day, yes, yes. So if you enroll and you don't attend, we cannot count that child.
The whites of the eyes.
Do we do surveys about what the needs are about every year, figuring out, is there more enrichment? I mean, obviously, some kids are going for the enrichment, some are going for remediation.
Yes, for high school, 9 through 12, we have the credit
Okay.
recovery, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for all you do.
I don't know if anybody knows, does one more student result in 40% of the $11,000? So it's always rounded. From what I see on there, it's rounded.
It's always the 48,600 minutes.
Yes, and so one more student would not have given us that many additional. So in order for us for 2023, it seems to me that in order for us to have received the additional $11,000, we would have had to have 3 additional students because 45 FTEs would result in 18 for the limit. So that would be the extra 11,000. We would have had, with 3 more students, we would have had a profit, if you will, of $7,000. But having 1 additional or 2 additional would not have increased our revenue. It would have increased other things, but not our revenue. And we still would have operated that last year at a $4,000 loss.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring this up is I wanted to make sure we weren't making a major loss.
Right.
That's what you don't want to do.
Right.
You don't. If we're almost breaking even, that's great. we could make a little extra money, that's great too. But we seem to be doing a very adequate job of fulfilling the needs of our students and parents.
I mean, to your point, Kevin, the year before you had 580 kids.
Correct. And
So if your expenditures were the same
Yep,
in 22 as they were in 23, you profited,
we probably made about 14,000,
yeah,
well, maybe even 22,000.
20 times
Yeah.
11, yeah, so you made some cash.
And that has not been our emphasis. We're not, I mean, we don't want to lose a lot of money,
Right.
but we're not using this as a moneymaker.
Right. But to be clear, we also want to know that it's not a big profit center. It
Yes.
helps us offset a potential deficit in another area.
Yeah.
I think there was some discussion about that last month at the meeting. Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you.
excellent, thank you for the report.
Yes.
Item 12, superintendent report.
Yeah, this is something that I've talked with Kevin and Diane about adding to the agenda. So you're gonna see all the administrators have a report every month. It's just I just put it on because we just kind of formalized it this morning with them. So it's gonna be kind of a movement away from the Board Connect and go to this, because this way now the community can see it. My actual board report, and then I'll actually probably list out the agenda items I'm gonna talk about, but if you go all the way down to the bottom, it's really just a handful of items. Been busy the first couple of weeks with in the district office, meeting with staff, board members on an individual basis, opportunity to get to know everybody on a more personal level. It's been really great, getting to meet with everybody and building leadership teams or team leads in the buildings and administrators, so it's been a great experience. I'm in the process now, starting to set up meetings with community members. I reached out to one today, haven't heard back. I have a meeting with the chamber president coming up tomorrow or Thursday, I don't remember which day it is, it's on my calendar. I'm gonna be sitting down with her. Spring sports, like I said, successful conclusion to our sports season. I was able to attend a softball and baseball. I went to one state softball and both state baseball games. I was impressed. I just want you guys to know, the board to know, the community to know, I was impressed with how they performed, but I was more impressed with how they acted on the field.
Our fans were very good too.
Our fans were good, and I thought that the kids represented themselves very well and represented the
And I was
district very
impressed
well.
with your purple.
Thank you.
I like the hat.
That was a last minute purchase. I was fine.
You made a nice job. Did you get that at rummage sale too?
No,
You
mine's
and Steve?
mine's
Are
just
you
down
guys
the road.
driving around buying
No,
stuff?
mine was just, I went to A&E.
Okay, it's one of those.
And I walked in, and she said I have fitted one. I said I got too big a noggin for a fitted hat. I needed an adjustable one. So, off and running. I want to thank everybody from the district office, the admin team, building staffs, school board community for the reception that my family and myself have gotten the past couple of months. We feel extremely welcomed, and everybody's made a really good effort to make us feel welcome. And I know my kids and my wife and I are excited to get going. So I just wanted to thank everybody. And then two quick last minute items. We just received notification last week, so this is a conversation you and I had, Calandra, that the Title IX regulations are out and we have to have a policy passed by August 1st in order to respond to that, first reading at least. So there will be a Title IX policy coming before you. I'll be honest with you, I have not had a chance to look at what the recommendation is from Neola, but we are not going to go too far outside of the realm of possibilities. We're going to keep it pretty close to where they are and what makes sense. Biggest change that I know about it, or one of the big changes, is going to be some changes in training. All staff now have to be trained in Title IX for at least an hour, just an hour training. And then the compliance officers have to be about a 2 to 3 hour training, unless you're an initial, which is then like 40-hour training. And then the last thing is, I was approached and they told me we've done it in the past, so hopefully we've done it in the past by the chamber, but we are going to be sponsoring the kids fishing contest as part of the July 4th festivities. They use our fishing poles,
Yeah.
so we're gonna.
They've always done.
Yep, so we're gonna sponsor it, and good opportunity to give back to the community. So
Very good.
that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for the superintendent?
Thank you for meeting people.
Yes.
Building the relationships is the key.
For sure.
Item 13, other reports, WASB report.
Well, we have the Summer Leadership Conference coming up, and I think so far, Donna, are you going? I'm trying to fit it in the schedule, but let Shana know. I don't know, Shana, is there a cutoff on this? Usually they tell you when you have to let them know, but
Yeah.
that will be July 12th and 13th in Green Bay. And that's all I have right now.
See, the speaker was on Friday night?
Leroy Butler.
Yeah.
We're not doing Lambeau Leap.
Does that mean you have to go with that?
It's the same weekend as
That's the only
birthday parties.
reason I'm going.
Yeah, I didn't even bring it up.
I know, I really wanna.
Donna went and bought a whole bunch of footballs.
I didn't even
I don't know what's
bring
going
it
on.
I have my signed football yet. That his
Maybe
name's on
Steve
there.
and Gray can pick some up at a room and sale.
Oh, there you
So,
go.
quick point about WSB, back to item number 11B on the agenda,
Yep.
the WSB membership renewal.
Yep.
I was trying to find the answer to your question about what the cost was last year, but this topic was not on any of the agendas from
Okay.
March of last year through
That's what I
July of
thought.
last year.
Okay.
And so I'm
I've
not
just
sure.
always put it on the agenda for
Yeah,
approval.
so I'm not, I mean, a future board president and vice president could make that decision going forward, but it's not been on our agenda
Okay.
previously.
Good
But
to
it
know.
could be.
I was wondering, it could be, absolutely. I was curious though, a few years ago, I don't, for some of, Megan and Kelly and Diane and Jessica, Peter, myself for sure, were on the board when that decision was made by, many of the state school board associations to cancel their membership in the National Association.
Yes.
And, but I looked in all the old agendas, I
What
couldn't
was
find
the
anything about
purpose for
that.
that?
There was, they, if I remember correctly, they chose to endorse a candidate. I think they chose to endorse President Biden,
It was kind
then
of old
candidate
test.
Biden, right?
Does the state organization endorse a
No.
candidate? You should
No,
endorse anybody.
no.
Should be non-political.
And
Was
be-
supposed to.
because we aren't a member at our local level of
Yeah.
NASB, but they lost like 70% of the, like 35 or 38 of the states
There's a
canceled their
new
membership.
one out now. It's like a national consortium of
Yeah,
state.
so that was a decision I
Should be
know.
totally non-political.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be.
Right.
So
So Kevin, what I'm hearing you say that this hasn't been on our.
it wasn't last year for
Yeah.
sure, but the board could choose to,
Well, and that's what we should.
Keep it
should we
on or
bring
not keep
the
it on?
agen-
Are there
set it on the
alternatives to us?
well, there, no, not to that. There are a couple of other organizations that do similar work, but they're usually very narrow in their scope, right? So charter schools, there's a charter school association that many school districts are a member of. There's a
Girls'
technology, yeah. There's also, I believe, a unified school district association also.
There's that equity and funding group too, I think, or Merit, whatever that one is.
Yes.
But I would say Calandra, a lot of those groups don't have nearly the training opportunities
No,
and
they
the
Right. I
professional
agree with that.
development that
Or
WASB
pins.
has.
Right.
Or pins for
She
Kelly.
doesn't know that
Well,
story.
I'm new to this, but one of the things I do love is all their online resources.
They do.
Yeah, they
I mean, you can look up anything and get
Yeah.
any information.
WASB has the staff
Yes.
capacity to provide a
Yeah,
lot of
agreed.
PD and information to board members. I mean, they are very top
If you
notch.
want to know something, it's there.
I think
And you
it's
also
worth
have
it.
very either free or extremely inexpensive legal advice from
Yes.
some very
Yeah.
competent attorneys
Yeah.
at WASB.
They do, I think it's worth it. It's, like I said, I just don't ever remember coming forward and I'm like,
It's okay.
It was always an agenda item out, but yeah, if you guys don't want it on.
Thank you, Kelly. Item 13B, CISA 9 report. Donna?
Yes, I have a report. Anyway, just a note that, the, administration at CISA 9 approved a 4% wage increase for all their employees, with an additional 1% being utilized at the administrator's discretion to make market adjustments. We were, noted in the administrative report, following a celebration of excellence, and Mosinee's claim to fame was for the Fab Lab grant.
Elementary.
And Edgar also got one for their high ACT participation, which is near us. The annual convention will be held on Monday the 5th, and there's 3 members that have terms expiring. There's 2 people that are retiring, and The CISA 9 offices, last year when I was there, they were kind of in flux because they were remodeling the CISA offices. And apparently they are now complete, and so anybody is invited to come and look at their new updated facility.
Do they have nice chairs like us?
Yes.
Probably not as nice.
Bet you're not as cheap as ours.
Did you see
It
the
definitely is
patio?
inexpensive.
I sat in one, they're really nice. Donna, was that wages and benefits, or was it just wages?
Wage increase for all effective
So that
employees
did not
with an
include benefits also?
additional increase.
Okay.
The increase will, no, didn't say benefits.
Thank you.
Okay, item 14, future agenda items.
Just a few things I have on the docket for next month, and then open it up for anybody else. We have the board meeting schedule, as we've talked about, the board meeting date, the board meeting location. Administration has worked on a board meeting presentation schedule for next year as well, so we'll bring that forward, kind of the month by month. And then the annual curriculum instruction standards pursuant to state statute, the annual physical restraint and seclusion report. Shayna and Stephanie have been working hard on a substitute hiring agencies analysis, so that was pretty close to being ready now, but we did it for next month. And then one of the many things that Stephanie and I need to be working on the next couple of weeks is going through the employee handbook. We were hoping to have it, but we just didn't have a chance to connect the last couple of weeks that things have been going on in the office. But we're now going to sit down and go through some proposed recommended changes to the handbook.
Anybody else? Any additional? All right, hearing none. Item 15, movement into closed executive session, section 19.85 1E reads, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of